Going on YouTube? RDAP Dan here, Federal Prison Time Consulting. Hope you're having an amazing Monday. Today, as promised, we are going to have the awesome, beautiful Kimberly Boito with us, who is Ryan Park's wife. Ryan was with us last week. He did an interview as he's getting ready for his sentencing, as Kimmy was also part of the same indictment, and she is now awaiting her sentencing as well. Before I introduce her to you, please take this moment to go ahead and like, subscribe, share this video, definitely leave a comment, and if you find some value and interest in the topic we're having today, please post your comments in the link below because other people may have the same questions you have. Welcome, Kimmy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hi, Dan. Hi, you too.
I've known Kim now for a little over a year and got to know her and her husband really, really good. And they're two amazing people who unfortunately had to make some mistakes in order to find themselves in life. So Kim, if you could kind of take everybody watching right now a little bit through the process of how you got to where you are, what caused all of this to happen.
I was indicted along with 22 other people. And we were all a part of a insurance fraud ring with car accidents, staged car accidents. Everybody was involved in these accidents. It wasn't innocent people. It was staged car accidents where everybody was involved. May of 2018, day one was the FBI knocking on my door. It was about 7:30 in the morning. I was completely surprised, and they woke me up, and about 15, 20 people came into my house and started going through things. They informed me that I was not being arrested or detained, that they just had a search warrant for my house. It was a very surreal process. It was extremely scary, but they were very polite to me. I was polite to them. They let me leave to take my daughter to school and get her out of the house, and I came back, and they weren't bad people, so I made it through it, but that was the first day. Fast forward to December of that year, that's when the actual indictment came out, so December 2018, and that was horrible. It was right before Christmas, and there was news stories and things on Facebook, and I'm from this town. I'm from Spokane. I know a lot of people, so it was absolutely humiliating to me.
So the person driving the car, the person that was getting hit, any of the individuals that were passengers in the impact vehicle, all of these people were basically in on it.
Everybody was in on it, yes.
Or how long were you involved into this ring?
2014 to 2017. So about three and a half years.
How were you asked to get involved?
So I was introduced into this by the ringleader, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he found something I needed and approached me that way. He made it so easy to say yes. It was my house.
How many times do you think you did it over a 3-year period of time?
I was involved personally 4 times in the accidents, but I was more involved in the financial side of it. No, I absolutely knew it was wrong. Every single time that it happened, I'd have anxiety and panic attacks, but justified it by wanting to pay off this house and wanting to have a stable life for my daughter. I wanted to have a stable life for my daughter, and I convinced myself by having this home that she can grow up in, and it's a beautiful home, and that just the potential for her life would be better.
So somebody that's watching right now that is either already going through what you might be going through or is potentially thinking that they're going to go through something similar, and they're telling themselves that they did what they had to do to protect their family or put themselves into a better situation. Was any of what you guys did, was any of it worth the consequences that you still have to deal with?
Absolutely not. No. I mean, this home is what we worked for, and I'm trying everything I can to sell it to pay off our restitution and give it back to the government, and none of it was worth it. the only good thing that has came out of this is the growth that I've had myself.
When the investigation first started and the agents knocked on your door, did you think prison time was a reality or a possibility for you?
Absolutely not. No, I knew why they were there. And when they showed up, I just thought, I'm not the ringleader of this. My husband's not the ringleader of this. They want to go through me to get to him. And I was very naive in that at that moment. And as the process went on, I started reading more into it. Ryan started reading more into it, and it stressed me out. So we spent a little while in our bedroom with the lights off and the door shut, and it was a very, very depressing, very hard time for us. You kind of feel like you're violated with the FBI coming in and going through all your things. The reality starts to hit you that, oh my God, I got caught, and I've never been in trouble before, so what the heck's gonna happen to me? It's just so many questions, and you kind of get really depressed, and I felt very empty. I felt like I didn't have any hope for my future. I never was suicidal or anything, but I just felt numb.
And clearly that's changed to where you are now. And we're going to tell people a little bit about how you've made this transition. Did you ever think you'd be in a spot where you were going to be facing some prison time?
No.
And how much prison time are you facing?
Right now, I'm a level 26 after departures. So
and that carries what?
Like 5 years, I think.
Now you also have a daughter. She's how old again?
She's 11.
So you have an 11-year-old daughter, and she was there the day that the FBI showed up to your house. So there was no preparing her for this or kind of prepping her or slow pacing it. It was just boom, here it is. What was it like when you and Ryan explained this to your daughter? What kind of thoughts went through your mind about not only now are we losing our house, but if I'm going to prison, I might also have to say goodbye to my daughter for a little bit?
I was extremely angry and disappointed at myself at that moment. Having to have that conversation is pretty embarrassing to have with your daughter. And she wasn't involved in this. She did not ask for this. And I hated myself for that. And she's actually very smart, very intelligent child. And I think the fact that we have been honest with her and have been open with her has been very beneficial to the whole process for all of us growing together as a family. The fact that I might go to prison and not be with her is still hard for me. That's my girl, and messing up is going to affect her life, and that's the thing I'm working on the most, is forgiving myself for that, because I have to forgive myself. I have to show her that people mess up, but they can overcome it, and they don't have to be that person. I may be a felon now, I may be a criminal, but I don't have to be for the rest of my life. And that's just the turning point for me, is just reminding myself that I will overcome this, and I will come out of this a better mother, a better wife, a better friend, and a better person in society for her. Well, in our few months of sleeping in the room with the dark lights, I went on binge watching Orange is the New Black. So that's what my idea of prison was, which is kind of scary. And after that, Ryan was researching, and found you. He set up a meeting with you. I was like, I don't care. I don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone. But he forced me to get up and come to your office and talk to you. And then after we met a couple of times, he really forced me to be a part of it, which I'm glad he did, because I was in my negative Nancy state of mind. I didn't want to do anything to help myself. I just wanted to have self-pity. And with you, this guy starts putting me into shapes. Stop playing a victim role. Stop. I mean, there's so much about it. It's not for me, that I need to wake up and start helping myself now. So we started working with Jenny. She has had a lot of homework for us, which really helped us. With me and Ryan, we had different projects. Mine started with a feelings wheel. So I had to start from just the beginning. I was so numb, I couldn't feel or decipher feelings like anger, frustration. I held everything in all the time, and I just kept my mouth shut. And so she really helped me dissect my feelings and why I reacted the way I did in just day-to-day situations and in my crime. Then we had a lot of journal assignments, just trying to get out like our story, not details about the case, but just our story and maybe why we allowed ourselves to make such poor decisions. Just a lot of writing assignments, a lot of journaling, and it just helped really open up my mind and why I was the way I was and why I kind of manipulated people to feel bad for me. I thought that I could get out of this crime by manipulating people. Oh, it wasn't me, and realizing it was me. I made my own decisions, and I can't put that blame on anybody else but myself. Well, we took our letters pretty slow. We did one question a week, one part of it a week. But what I wanted to put in my letter is, oh, I'm so good in school, and I did this and this and this. I wanted to point out all my accomplishments. I'm not a bad person. I just made this one mistake, or excuses. I wanted to put in excuses. And what changed in my letter is me taking accountability for my actions. And that was the growing process from poor Kimmy to no, Kimmy, you messed up. And I think the letter's perfect, just the way it is now. I'm very glad I had you and Jenny to help me put it together, because I probably would have messed up and put everything great about myself and why I don't deserve to go to prison. And it's not like that at all. It's if the judge believes that I need to be in prison, then I need to be in prison. It's accountability for my actions. I'm so sorry, but I messed up. This is the reason why I think I might have messed up, but that's still not an excuse. For me, it was very, very beneficial and important to have a team by my side who understands the process. Me going into it, I had no idea. I didn't even know what a character reference letter was. I didn't know what federal sentencing guidelines. I didn't know anything. And having an attorney is different. They're there to represent you in court. But attorneys are busy. They have their own life, and they don't want to sit down day to day and answer your every little question. So having this team with Dan and Jenny and Ryan is, I think, really important to anybody who's going through this situation, because they'll learn what they can be doing to help themselves, and they'll have somebody there to say, stop being a victim, buck up, you put yourself in this situation, so let's start learning why. Let's start improving your life. And without my team, I would have probably been just sitting in my room, not doing anything to help myself, not writing these letters, waiting for my attorney to call me, and which is rarely, and probably just been miserable. So this team, I think, for anybody is crucial. Just bad food, scary, getting pushed around by the guards, just kind of what I see in the movies. And now I'm a low or minimum security, so I will be most likely in a prison camp. And in prison camp, there's opportunities in these camps. I can learn I'm actually a general contractor, but there's electrician. I can go get my electricians, and HVAC. There's just so many programs that I can help potentially build my business when I get out of prison.
Was it important for you to break down the fear of going to prison in order to be able to stay productive in the day-to-day, to focus on the here and now?
Yeah, I had to accept it because that scared the living Jesus out of me, to think of myself going to prison. But once that fear went away, I've been so much more productive in my day-to-day life. I'm volunteering on a weekly basis. I'm still continuing to grow my business, even though it might have to stop for a while. Going to counseling, doing a lot of things to help myself, my health, starting to really take my health seriously, and mental, physical health, everything. And since that, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with whatever happens because it's meant to happen. And either way, I'm gonna make good out of it. For me, it kind of breaks down to forgiveness on other people. I was a blamer. I blamed people and I made excuses. And now, like, every piece of my body, everything in my mind knows that this wouldn't have happened if I said no. And it comes down to me. And I think that's the most important thing in accountability, is realizing that you're in charge of your own life and you can't make excuses. I couldn't make excuses. I just think it's important for me to get my story out there, because finding you was such a relief for me. It was common ground. You're a normal guy. You don't look scary. You're just a normal guy, and you've been through this too. So for me to find common ground with you helped me a hell of a lot. It really helped finding somebody I can relate to that's normal. And if I can help anybody else who needs to find that normal person to relate to, a woman who has a child, and if I can help in any way to get them to where I am, I mean, that's what's important to me. I'm the happiest right now I've ever been in my entire life.
Did you ever think there'd be a point in your life where you might be facing 5 years in prison and make that exact statement you just made?
No, not at all.
And I think that's why it's important to have these types of videos, because it puts you out there. You're practicing humility, the shame and the embarrassment, you're kind of throwing it all out there and just letting happen whatever is going to happen. But so many people are going to be going through what you're going through, and they also feel completely lost and alone, like nobody understands. I'm the only one in the world going through this. And it's really hard to take full responsibility and acceptance when you're stuck in that mindset of, somebody did this to me, because it's so much easier just to be mad and pissed off at everybody else, the government, the judge, the people that may have told on you, or whatever situation happened. When you can finally just put all that aside and say, it sucks that all that happens. It sucks that I have to go to prison. But at the end of the day, when you look at it and say, I put myself here and I did make these choices, and now I'm going to go face the music. Kimmy, I want to thank you for agreeing to do this. I know, again, it's not easy. We've been talking about this for some time. And finally, we got you to a point where you feel comfortable enough about sharing your story and not worrying about the people out there that are going to possibly have something negative to say. There's many people that are going to take great pleasure in hearing your story, as they will likely be able to relate. Is there anything you want to leave everybody with before we go ahead and sign off?
Just I hope anybody going through my situation reaches out and starts doing the work, because any situation can turn into a good opportunity. And that's what I see my life as now. It's an opportunity.